And the second story, which I co-authored with one of my colleagues from Szeged, with Don Peckham, is actually a story that really, really shook me in many ways. This is a story about Dr. József Rózsavölgyi, a medical doctor from Szentes, a town that my father's family actually came from and where my ancestors lived for 200 years. And to me, this story sort of tells you how America changes you. And what happened was that Dr. Rózsavölgyi came to the United States in 1922, together with his wife and two small children. They lived in Texas. That's where he got his ear, nose, and throat specialization. They all learned English. They got American citizenship. And then, for one reason or another, they went back to Hungary in 1930. And the American experience changed them and changed their lives. 14 years later, when the Second World War was raging in Hungary, Dr. Rózsavölgyi ended up helping two American pilots who were downed in just outside of town, and they flew to do a bombing mission in the Third Reich, and were returning when their airplane was damaged, and so they decided to bail because the airplane was going down. And so Dr. Rózsavölgyi was called to translate for these American pilots, and then he ended up inviting them to his house and made friends with them. And then a few days later, this was in December 1944, and a few days later a ride was arranged for them, and they made their way back to Bari, Italy. A more tragic twist is that while all of this was happening, Rózsavölgyi's son was already dead, and the way he died was that he was a trained lawyer, a young lawyer, who was called in to serve in the war. He was because he was an educated person, he was made an officer, but he made statements to the effect that he was not going to fight on the side of Nazi Germany. And because of that, he was demoted to a common soldier, sent to the front, and died. And to me, this is a very, very poignant story about how America changed them, and their American experience changed them and made them behave in ways that were not typical, definitely not typical at the time. And for me, genealogical research is also about making connections. And the connections I made in connection with this story is that just a couple of weeks ago, I was able to track down the daughter of one of these pilots, who actually is still alive in Maine. And I called her and sent her the story, and she was shocked because she never heard about the fact that her father's plane was downed ever, because her father never talked about the war. And then even more miraculously, last week, the great-granddaughter of the doctor reached out, and that was because, well, she read about this story that we wrote up in one of the interviews that appeared in Hungary about the book, and she found out things that she never knew about her great-grandfather and other members of her family, and she was completely shocked about it, and still sort of digesting the whole implications of everything. So